The West Virginia Mountaineers are hot on the trail of a four-star receiver out of Florida. We're going to talk about him and what are the chances he ends up in Morgantown for 2024 right after this word from our sponsor. This episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, Jeep, Kia, Ford, Hyundai, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today at the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you.
This is for Cameron.
What is up, guys? Welcome in. My name's Mountaineer Paul, and this is another edition of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. As you can see beside me, we have Couz from Couz's Corner, and we are hot on the trails of just an incredible day in Mountaineer recruiting yesterday through the transfer portal. Be looking for a video from Couz. Probably today, Couz. Am I right on that? You'll be releasing that today?
Yeah, sometime later today, yes.
So be looking for that video, guys. It's going to be a good one. I can't tell you why, but it's most likely because I'll be a part of it. Just kidding. Just kidding. So that's all set in stone. Something we're talking about is has a little bit more fluidity to it. Is not exactly finite. Couz, we're talking about Ric'Darius Farmer, who is absolutely a stud. We know that. He's a four-star kid. He's put up monster numbers out of Florida, and he's moved around a couple different places. But most recently, he was at Melbourne Central Catholic, and he's a dude that is a four-star composite player. Actually, I have something on him right here. When you look at these numbers, and it's actually 247, I think it's all of it. He's got a 90 rating, and that's up into where you saw Rodney Gallagher get, guys like that. So to put it in perspective with players we've gotten in the past, this is how they see him. Traylon Ray was also in this area. And then those are receivers. We had other players that have been this range before. A couple more points, and they're talking about a 5-star player, not far away. So this is a huge possible get for us. Now, Couz and I, through our own channels, have been able to obtain information that might lead us to believe one way or another, and there's all types of reporting out there, not just us. You can go on the 247 message board. You can go on the Rivals message board. This is a kid that has really been waffling, let's just say, on West Virginia and UCF. And it's the classic stay home or leave type situation, right? Couz, you told me this morning that you've been in contact with the stores.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of things you talked about and how you feel about this, just the situation in general, what it could mean for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a good sign, number one. It sounds like, we've heard people within the West Virginia circles and on social media and other places talking about how they think it's likely he'll flip from UCF to West Virginia. Well, I'm hearing the same thing from a source in Florida, or that's at least I don't want to say in Florida, but they are familiar with the UCF program. And I'm going to put a screenshot up right now. I'll see it. I'm not sharing any names here, but here's a message that I shared with this source. And he says, Day flip, and Day's his nickname. He says, Day flip today incoming. Not going to lie, I'm happy for him. It's a very, very, very long story, but he needed to get out of Florida. Of course, I responded, wow, glad to hear that. I think he will love it at WVU. We have several other kids on the roster from Florida. Hopefully they will bond. But so apparently there are people within Florida circles as well, UCF circles as well, that also think he's going to flip and feel confident he's going to flip. And this person even thinks it's better for him if he does. So and they obviously want what's best for him. Instead of being selfish and wanting him to play at their school, which I thought was really cool. They feel like it's actually good for him to get out of that environment he's in for whatever reason. It's really none of our business, to be honest, and to come to a school like West Virginia.
Right. Absolutely. So that's pretty solid information, in my opinion. Couz has shared with me over the years, a lot of different things. He's never been wrong. He's not the type of person to make up information either. So this is credible info, in my opinion. Obviously, he's not going to share the name of his source. That's just not how it works. So I'm going to do something a little different here because I've been given permission. You guys know Huddy Tuddy from West Virginia Twitter. He's been extremely accurate over the last couple months, really, and before that, but I've really come to know him over the last few months. He's been dead on and hasn't missed on very many things at all. He's not all-knowing at all, and not a lot of us know his true identity, but as with some of these accounts, these are sometimes former players. These are sometimes maybe some former students that are friends with the players. Could be a former coach. Not really sure, but he's a good dude. And so he gave me permission to share a screenshot of a group chat. This is the 2024 incoming recruiting class with guys like Khalil Wilkins, which is going to be our quarterback. It's Dunbar, who's probably is going to be our running back for this class, and others talking about this very situation. And although it's small, here it is. Day coming home. And then Khalil Wilkins said, ain't no doubt. So this is Dunbar and Wilkins talking, like I said, in a group chat, the 2024 class. These kids talk, guys. They know, they're all recruiting each other. and everybody wants to play with the best players possible, especially in your class. Now, in today's day and age, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. It used to mean you were stuck together 4 years, right? But in today's day and age, it can change, but you can at least make a name for yourself together, hopefully. So that screenshot, Couz, I showed that to you yesterday or the day before. How does that make you feel?
Oh, excited, man. This kid, I'm telling you, I was digging deep into his tape last night because what else do you do at 1:30 in the morning, right? When you're a fanatic about West Virginia football. But I was digging deep into his film or highlights, and as Paul would say, I watched the tape, and I'm telling you, the kid is absolutely special. He is one of the best. He's one of the most gifted route runners I've ever seen for a high school player. He's able to get open on whether it's a curl route, an out route, a post route, a go route. It doesn't matter. Obviously screens. He's open. And it's just extremely cool to watch. Most kids coming out of high school are not that polished as a route runner. This kid is. I don't know if it's just he's naturally gifted at it, if he's worked at it, or both. And then, oh, by the way, you add into that, he's also really fast. I think I read somewhere that he finished 7th. He had the 7th fastest time at a camp last year in Florida. And remember, guys, Florida they have some of the top high school football players in the country. Some of the top track stars in the country. I mean, they just have guys that are fast. I mean, Noel Devine comes to mind. He was out of Florida. Remember how fast he was. That's just one example that West Virginia's benefited from over the years.
Stedman Bailey.
Yeah, Stedman, another perfect example. But he was 7th at a camp that was full of Power 5 players. So he's fast. Now, he's not the biggest guy in the world. I think I read that he's about 5'11", but as gifted as he is in route running, and he has good hands, and with his speed, I think he is going to have the potential to come in. And a lot of it's going to be, how does he practice? How does he block, on the perimeter? But I think he has the potential to come in and play early, just like Traylon Ray did, just like Rodney Gallagher did. I think he's that good. I really do.
Yeah, and his tape does stick out. Obviously, he plays a lot bigger than his size. Mm-hmm. He looks a lot bigger on tape than 5'11". They haven't listed at 160, but I think that's he's not that small anymore. He's put on some weight. I don't know how much, but I would venture to say he's probably in the 180s now, which at 5'11" is probably where you want to stay unless you want to get into like that Nikhil Shorts type range where you're a little bit bigger, 190-ish, So Nikhil Shorts never got there, but for his size, he was like 5'8". And so he was that, bigger for his size of 5'8". I think this kid's similar. So overall, this is huge news, and it's addition by addition, but it's also addition by subtraction because we're taking away from UCF, which is a team that we're going to be playing, a lot because they're on our side of the United States and the East Coast. So, in my opinion, this is huge. It shows that we can out-recruit other teams in the conference, which is a big deal, and especially in Florida. UCF's a Power 5 program now. So they can take that to recruits in Florida and say they're on the same par, at least right now. Now, not 100% because obviously the SEC is a better conference. Nobody's going to lie about that. But we have the same opportunities to play in the playoff, right? And you can also go to them and say, look, the ACC, you see they went undefeated to get into the playoff. We had a team with a one loss get in. Even though they're leaving, they were still in the Big 12. Right. Different things like that. There's all kinds of methods people use, but the Big 12, in my opinion, has some credibility going forward, and I think it's going to be it's going to have the most parity, right, in the country going forward. I think you add the guys that we're adding, Utah, Arizona, are both probably going to be top 25 teams next year, so it's not like we're losing a lot. So there's a lot to sell about the future of this conference. And Brett Yormark, I'm excited. Yeah. So. This was for you guys, Couz and I, just so we always talk about sources. So we thought, well, we'll do what we can on this one and talk a little bit about who we've been talking to and what we've been hearing. So hopefully you like this video.
Yeah, and hopefully, and one more thing I'd like to add, who wouldn't want to come and play for, look at the quarterback room at West Virginia, what it is now and who's coming. Who would not want to play for Garrett Green, Nico Marchiol? Can't leave out Sean Boyle and Khalil Wilkins, who's coming in. Now, it's not guaranteed all those guys stay, but as it is today, because that's all we have to go by, right, is what's there today and what's coming in. We have a really good quarterback room, in my opinion, and why would you not, as a wide receiver, be excited to play for those guys or play with those guys, rather, and have those guys throwing you the football? That, to me, that also could have been a big piece of if he does indeed flip. I think that'll be a big reason, in my opinion.
Agreed, man. And I'll go ahead and predict it now. I think he's going to flip. Obviously, that's what this video was about. Sometimes we have to take chances as content creators. When I was discussing with Couz this morning, we were kind of, discussing whether we should share the screenshot or not, and because there's chances involved with this. And if he doesn't flip, it could obviously hurt my credibility. I understand that, but I think he's going to. Now, like I said, these things are fluid, and if he does flip, guess what? I'm going to continue to make videos tomorrow. So whether he does or not, but I want to bring you guys the what's happening. So that's what we did here. Hope you enjoyed it, man. Don't forget to go to Couz's Corner and watch that video later. Don't forget to subscribe here. Also, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, Couz updated his website. If you didn't know, couzscorner.com. Don't forget to check that out too, man. It's updated. He's got somebody working on it. It's apparently more functional, has some more fluidity to it as well.
Absolutely. And more,
a little bit more going on there. And he said it's purtier. So
it's purty now.
You can't say that for himself, but at least he's got a website to brag about.
Man's got to take what he can get.
So thank you guys for joining in. Really appreciate the help.
Don't forget Hoops today. From the Hills.
I can't forget Hoops from the Hills. We got a game coming up tomorrow. So it's Radford.
Terrible timing. Signing day.
Yeah.
We're going to have to decide, do we talk about signing day or do we talk about basketball?
Right. Try to squeeze in both. It's going to be hard.
Yep.
So, all right, guys, that's it for this one. We're going to be going straight into recording another video. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Mountaineer Paul Talks Football. This episode is over. Couz and I are